Next up, we have something on a much lighter note, the voice cast for the upcoming two Watchmen movies, and it actually excites me to a pretty good degree. The main ones that interest me are Troy Baker, Corey Burton, and Katie Sackhoff, who all play in Star Wars in some way. Corey Burton, he does Cad Bane, Katie Sackhoff does Bo-Katan, and fucking Troy Baker, he is known for Joel in The Last of Us, and yeah, I think it's just awesome to see these three people working together. As I'm not familiar with Watchmen at all, I can't actually comment really anything beyond this. I don't know the characters or anything, although Troy Baker's character having the name Ozymandias, like, that's just fucking awesome. Fucking Breaking Bad reference, ooh. I know it's obviously not a Breaking Bad reference, but, you know. As for the other actors, Matthew Rhys was just in If that came out. I think it looks pretty meh, so not a huge boost of excitement for me, but he was also in Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and I enjoyed that movie, so... Titus Welliver, all that I really know him from is the Castlevania series, and he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit. Sons of Anarchy as well he was in, but he does have a pretty big overall filmography, like it fucking scrolls for a long time. Next, I'd like to briefly talk about Emio, which is a new IP that's being teased by Nintendo. Now, all that we got was a little 15-second teaser that is framed like a teaser for a fucking horror movie, and it shows this image. That's right, Nintendo posted this video. Did you ever expect Nintendo to release a game like this? Now, that is why a lot of people are thinking that this isn't just Nintendo's doing, and they're working with a third-party company on this, and they're mostly just the distributor. But, I don't know. I don't think they would have done a trailer like this, that's just like a 15-second little clip, if they didn't have full intention of it becoming a huge thing. Major things that stand out to me about it. For one, if this really is a new IP, then we're getting a new IP fucking so late in the Switch's life form. Like, I can't think of the last time that happened. You think they would save something like this for the Switch 2? Unless this is out by the time the Switch 2 releases. Dude, imagine if this is the fucking Switch 2 launch title. No Mario Kart 9, no 3D Donkey Kong, it's this. Honestly, I don't think I would complain. This looks interesting as fuck. Nintendo doing a horror game? Also, just a new IP in general. It's been so long since we had a new full-blown Nintendo IP. When was the last one? Fucking ARMS? And how did that work out? The last one that really worked out extremely well was Splatoon. But yeah, this is Emio, which apparently may translate to Smiling Man. So I guess we'll see what Smiling Man entails when the game actually releases. If that is the title, I hope Smiling Man is just like the franchise title though, as I feel like that sounds pretty generic for what could end up being such a huge IP for Nintendo. Next, I'd like to talk a bit about the Xbox Game Pass price changes coming, and how certain benefits are now going away, depending on the plan that you have. So, for starters, according to this chart that I found on Twitter, apparently the base plan, that's $10 a month, you won't even have access to the Game Pass catalog. Isn't that the fucking main draw of Game Pass? Like, what the fuck is the point of buying it then? You also don't get day one game editions or perks and discounts on games in the Game Pass library. You don't get EA Play or Riot Games benefits, really, who cares about that? Or you don't get Xbox Cloud Gaming. All you fucking get is online console multiplayer, a limited catalog of 25 games on the console, and member deals and discounts. Okay, member deals and discounts, that's like the only fucking good thing there. Online gameplay, that's just the standard. And then a limited catalog of 25 plus games. Like, that's it. That's it? Really? Like, come on. I find it kind of funny how this comes right after the news that we got that a whole bunch of gaming subscriptions weren't making the amount of money that the companies were hoping for. So this is likely a move in response to that, which I thought wasn't going to happen, as I thought Xbox Game Pass was the one exception to all the gaming subscriptions. Because like I say, I thought everyone was buying it. I thought it was really popular, so I expected they would leave it as is, but I guess not. And I doubt this is something that they would revert either, unlike something like the Helldivers controversy or any other gaming controversy where you can just review bomb the game on Steam, and then boom, a lot of the changes will be fixed. You can't really do that on this case. Next up, Kick has announced Kick Bounties, where streamers can essentially get rewards like gifted subs and a whole bunch of shit for completing gaming challenges. Now, when I first saw this, I assumed that these bounties applied to any different amount of challenges, not just gaming ones. So that left me a lot more concerned than I think was justified. Like, I got scared that, like, with the amount of shit that you see on Kick, right? Like, with, like, people crashing cars or, like, stealing shit, I got worried that maybe some of the admins at Kick would make people do some really dangerous challenges. But no, it seems like this is just gaming related. Like, oh, kill 10 people in COD or some shit, and then you get 50 gifted subs. I do think that this is definitely an interesting way of monetization, as now you can potentially make money as a streamer, even if you only get like 2 fucking viewers. Maybe I should fucking do it then, with the amount of viewers I get. Next up, we have Mr. Beast putting out a statement that relates to what he would do if he was elected president. Now, I've seen some people get mad at this tweet, and I don't understand why. I know people getting mad at Mr. Beast is a common trend, but this is nothing but a good thing in my opinion. He states that he just wants to make the American people his number one. The main thing people are mad about is that he's saying that he'd have experts from the left and right, and essentially have a party that was like a mix of both. Now, I'm no politics expert, but to me, that just sounds like a better system than what we currently have. Having a party that's essentially multiple parties in power at once, I think would be a good thing. Obviously, it could lead to some problems, especially with conflicting ideals, if you actually had a party that was a mix of multiple parties. But if it's just Mr. Beast going to consult multiple different points of view, and then you still have one central vision, I think it works. Like, I don't understand what everyone's freaking out about this for. Also, Mr. Beast not having an ego of any kind during his time as president, well, it would also be nothing but a good thing either. Like he says that he would get advice from the left and right for problems that he was ignorant in. That would mean that he wouldn't just try and fix something that he had no knowledge on, like so many of our current presidents and prime ministers do. It's like a lot of the social media policies that a lot of countries enact when so many of the leaders are ignorant on what actually happens on social media and what actions should be taken. Also, would you rather have Mr. Beast as president or someone like fucking Joe Biden? Take a look at this shit.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway.
That's right. Did you fucking hear that shit? Did you hear that shit? That is the most hilarious thing that I've seen in fucking weeks at this point. First, he calls Trump his vice president, and then he mistakes Zelensky for Putin. Look, I know I shit on everyone just talking about Biden having dementia and all that shit. Like, we already knew that, and it's not news. But, like, this is fucking funny. This is a whole new level. He clearly has something going on in his head if he was able to make these two mistakes back to back. Like, okay, if he maybe just made one, then I could excuse it. But two of them in the same conference? The Vice President Trump thing, like, that's even okay. Like, that's an easy mistake you could make. But the Putin thing is just, oh my god. Like, I feel bad I'm not really adding much to that, but, like, there's not really much to say. I just wanted to put that in here because I found it so hilarious. Like, if you didn't know about this, I hope this just made your day. Next up, we essentially have what I take as confirmation that we will not be seeing Darth Plagueis and Emperor Palpatine in the Acolyte finale coming up here, as Leslie Headland has stated that she has plans for how she would like to integrate them in the future, but that implies that they're not in this season. Now, I doubt that Acolyte will get a season 2 with all the negative reviews, but I'd totally be down for an eventual season to tackle Palpatine and Plagueis in some way, especially if we get the proper build-up to it. But I'm glad that they won't be in this season, because we already have way too fucking much that we need to wrap up in episode 8 here. Like, I'll talk about it when I do my review of the Acolyte, but one of my biggest problems with it is the amount of time we fucking waste. Like, we have 8 almost hour-long episodes here, and it feels like almost nothing has happened the entire show because we spent so much fucking time in flashbacks. Particularly the one in episode 7. It was just one huge flashback episode, and I feel like it wasn't really needed. The only really new thing that we learned from it was that Soul killed the leader witch, whatever the fuck her name is. And I feel like they haven't really built up Kamir, like, at all as a genuine threat. Like, yeah, he was intimidating when he killed all those Jedi, but as a character, I'm not really super invested in him quite yet. Like, I like what he says. He says interesting Sith-like things, but we haven't actually got to see his real motivations or nothing. And I have doubts that they're going to be able to include that along with fucking everything happening with Osha turning to the dark side, with fucking whatever Soul's up to, with capturing May and shit. Like, there's so much shit that they have to cover. Going back to this story, though, I do think it's interesting that she thinks that it's pretty complicated and messy of how everything plays out. As to me, it just seems like it'd be pretty straightforward, with Plagueis just coming into play, right? But who knows? However, if she's admitting that it's complicated and messy, I don't think the show would get positive reviews, even if she does end up doing good on it. So maybe it's best we leave it untouched. Next up, we have confirmation that Minions 3 is releasing June 30th, 2027. Now, that's obviously too early to have a set date in my opinion, as dates always change, but it's nice to know that we have something upcoming on the Despicable Me franchise docket. I mean, it was kind of obvious with how successful Despicable Me 4 is. I'd wager we'll probably start alternating between Minions and Despicable Me movies at this point, and they may even introduce a whole new, separate sub-series with different characters as well. Like, give us a fucking Vector movie, please. Next up, we have confirmation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Unleashed, which is a video game set in the Mutant Mayhem continuity. And I think this is a pretty cool move to have a game that's actually set in the TMNT show continuity. I mean, we've never gotten that before, I don't think. Maybe with Rise we got like a little game, but this seems like an actual higher budget title compared to most of them. I mean, there's going to be a skill tree and 2-player co-op as well. I wonder, though, after watching the trailer, it seems as though this is like a fully canon story set after Mutant Mayhem, so I hope it's not going to be too confusing to have to jump around between game, TV show, movie. Like, imagine if someone just goes from Mutant Mayhem to the Mutant Mayhem sequel when it comes out. They're going to miss an entire TV series worth of lore, along with this game. I guess I know how people who weren't as big as into Marvel felt with everything coming out. Twitter is now going to allow users to gift others a premium subscription. Whoa, no way. Now, I know you should always be grateful for whatever gift you get, but you know what? If someone gives this to you, I think you have every right to write them off as your friend. People complain about getting money as a gift, but I can tell you that I'd rather get money any day. I'd rather have a person not know what to get me, and then get me money that can buy me anything I want, than force me to have X premium. Hopefully parents don't start gifting their terminally online kids this, otherwise it'll just make the epidemic worse. Dude, imagine Twitter gift cards. Oh yeah, you can buy a $50 X gift card, and it'll give you like 3 months of X premium or something. However much X premium's worth, I don't even know. Why would I know? I'm not gonna buy that shit. The most important news today, a crab has been named after the League of Legends champion Teemo. Oh my god. Seriously though, are there really scientists who play League of Legends? I find that hard to believe.